I have many vices, and this is one of them. I'm a serial art book collector. I don't even know if I would call myself a collector. I'm a serial art book buyer. Now I know this doesn't look like much, but I have another 30 linear feet of art books back in my parents' house. Books that I've just bought throughout the years, and yeah, there's a reason they're not here. It's because I don't use them. They're just sitting in boxes collecting dust right now. And I feel like every time I buy a new book, I have to give myself a reason or an excuse. Like, oh, it's for reference or it's for inspiration. And then I just never look at them again. I buy them and I never look at them again and they just sit on the shelf. And I suspect that I'm not the only one out there. So over the last couple of years, I've been a bit more mindful about the books that I buy, as you can see. And as a result, I've started using them more often. And I feel like I'm finally making the most out of it, like getting the most use out of it. Finally using my art books. So let me show you how I use my art books. Okay, great, how's this angle? A lot of books I own, I don't use simply because they're not usable. When I buy a book, I try to be really picky about what's inside because sometimes there's a lot of art books inside that don't really have any meaningful content. Even if it's related to an IP I like or a subject matter that I'm interested in, I try to be mindful about what's inside and I really pay close attention and try not to let me get baited by my fandom. So that's one thing. So that begs the question of what do I look for in an art book? And the simple answer is things that I can't find on the internet. Now, some art books are just so filled with marketing art they use for like posters and ads, just a lot of filler, you know what I mean? If it's filled with screenshots of the game or movie, that's again more filler and I'm not really interested in that. I'm looking for more behind the scenes material, so concept art, production art, things that give me an insight into the making of the thing. That also includes words. I want information about the process of making the thing. If it's just simple captions, I'm not interested. Now, of course, I'm talking about art of books, but I think this also applies to illustration books as well. I just like seeing work in progress stuff and sketches, even though it isn't necessarily essential for that kind of book. It's just a nice plus. The biggest excuse or reason that I tell myself that when I'm buying art books is that, oh, it's for inspiration. It's useful to have around because, one day, who knows, I might look at it and it'll spur me into a frenzy of creativity. And we do this thing, don't we? We separate inspiration from reference. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm buying books, I always sort it out into these two buckets: inspiration books and reference books. It took me a while to figure this out, but inspiration is reference. Okay, let's just pause for a second here. What is inspiration exactly? Like, how do we define it? Well, I think it's stimulus. We see something and we go, oh, that makes me feel good and it makes me want to draw. Well, what is that exactly? You need to be able to identify what that is because that could be so many different things. And being able to pinpoint it, to narrow it down to one specific thing is an important first step. This is what we call eye training, but it's not just the eye. There's a whole bunch of meat behind here that's connected to the eye. You have good taste. You just need to be able to put it into words. And that's something that we can learn how to do. But before that, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Pork Bun. If you're an artist or art enthusiast making to make your mark online, a .art domain from Pork Bun is the perfect place to get started. By choosing a .art domain, you're not just securing a memorable web address, you're establishing credibility within the world of art. Whether you're an artist, enthusiast, gallery, or curator, using a .art domain boosts your credibility and helps you stand out among your peers. Also, a .art domain just sounds really cool. It just rolls off the tongue really nice. It's a perfect space to build a professional online portfolio, share your work, and even promote art events or charitable causes that you care about, all while engaging in your community online. Pork Bun makes it simple to get your .art domain, offering unbeatable value with free Whois privacy, free SSL certificates, and web and email hosting trials, all at an incredibly low price. Why pay for extra when you can get everything you need to bring your art to life online? Whether you're looking to create a dynamic digital portfolio or integrate the latest tech to create a future of art online, Porkbun has you covered. So get your .art domain in the link below today and start making your creative mark on the world. Thanks again to Porkbun. So let's play a game. I'm going to show you a piece of art and you're going to decide whether you like it or not. Did you like it or did you not? Just give it a moment and think about it. Why did you like or dislike this video? For the sake of this video, I'm just going to assume that you do like it, but the inverse is just as applicable. And if you're thinking, I just like the look of it, well, why? And don't say vibes. Give it to me in concrete terms so I and you can understand exactly what it is that is pushing your buttons. When we say nice or good, there's usually more going on under the hood. We just don't understand it well enough yet. It's like asking me why a car is faster than the other because, I don't know, my Corolla has a bigger engine than an F1 car, but it's not faster than an F1 car, and I don't know enough about cars to tell you exactly why that is. Same goes for art, you know. Why is some art better to you than another piece of art? Now, this is not an exhaustive list, but things like design, story, composition and light, color, these are aspects of art that contribute to you liking or not liking something. Like, I may not like the color of this piece, but man, is the composition resonating with me. And it might not just be one specific quality, it might be a combination of these qualities that make up something that you like. It may be a specific blend of these things that give it like a 10x multiplier for why you like something. Maybe this specific color combination and this character design archetype really does it for you, but you won't know that until you've carefully examined it and you've done it many times. And write it down, you know, don't just look at it for a second and then move on. Write this down. Do this a bunch of times, over and over and over again. Look at stuff that you like, look at stuff that you don't like, and make observations about your thoughts on these art pieces. Go deeper. Don't just say, oh, I like the colors. Well, what do you like about the colors? Is it the contrast? Is it a specific color combination? Is it the way it changes with the light? Over time, you'll get better at making these observations. And more importantly, you'll see themes emerge. You know, if you've written all these down in a notebook somewhere, compare them and you start to see some common elements emerge. That's taste. That's your taste. You know, believe it or not, learning to like something is a skill. I mean, we all kind of know what we like, but do we really though? Do we really know what we like? Or are we just being fed stuff by the algorithm and we're tricking ourselves into thinking that we do like it, but in reality it's just kind of nice to look at? This is studying art. And the best part is you don't even have to draw to get good at art. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still have to draw, but like all you have to do is look, like really look. Do this a bunch of times and I guarantee you the next time you make art, you'll have a much easier time. Like a lot of the decision fatigue that comes with making art will have already been made for you because you've understood all these things inherently. You know, once you know what qualities are so attractive to you, well, you can start replicating that in your own art. So the next time you're in a dilemma about what color a character should be, you won't be in such a bind because all this observation and analysis that you've done helps you make a more informed decision. That's what I mean when I say inspo is reference, because when you're inspired by something, it's just pushing one of these buttons. And these buttons can be studied and used as reference. So when it comes to using an art book, I try to identify what it is that inspires me. I try to work past that, oh my god, it's so pretty face, and just think about it for a second and look, really look. As a result, all these books are ultra relevant to me. Like all of them. And I'm shameless about stealing from art books. Like if I see something in here that I like, I'm using it for my own. I'll give you an example. This is Pareidolia by James Jean. I love James Jean, and this is one of the books that I use as reference the most. I adore the way James Jean's lines flow. There's a nice organic quality to them, like ripples on a calm lake. But obviously, he doesn't draw the same things I do, but that doesn't matter. Whenever I draw Max and there's an opportunity to draw flowy lines like cables, for example, I always draw on his lines for reference. The same goes for every single book on these shelves. There's something in here that I have to one extent or another taken and used for my own art. Have I bought any duds? Yeah, of course I have. But I always try to find something interesting, something that I can use a little piece of detail here, a little brush stroke here. There's always something. And so this collection of art books that I have, well, I do appreciate it for the art. It's also very functional. It's unique to my way of seeing things. It's unique to what I like. Story, composition, design, color, these are all essential building blocks to making art. And it's something that you should absolutely be shamelessly, bravely stealing for yourself. And what you choose to steal, well, that's your prerogative. And this unique combination of building blocks that you've gathered for yourself, that's your style as an artist. Did I just accidentally make a video about finding your art style?